right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Morning Momentum. My name is Matt Beard. First time tuning in. I think this is episode like number 49 or something crazy. So I'm excited to be here with you guys this morning. I'm a real estate investor here in Phoenix, Arizona. We buy properties nationwide. So if you want some help on some deals, or you're trying to get into real estate investing, I'm here to help. Send me an email, mattbeard@vahub.com. We also own that virtual staffing company. I'm able to come live every single morning. I'm able to do these things with you guys because we have leverage in our business, have virtual assistants that help me on the tasks that need to get done, help me bring in revenue to the company, help me prospect, help me do administrative work, help me, on the disposition side, talking to buyers, working these relationships. All these things are done because we have leverage in our business, and that comes from virtual assistants. If you're on the ledge and you're like, well, I don't know how a VA is going to fit into my business. Trust me, if you have a business in general that does not require someone to physically be there, like I think what happened with COVID was, look, it's terrible. This whole thing over this last year, with all the stuff that was happening and, obviously the unemployment and everything. But what I think happened that was the silver lining out of all of this was that a lot of companies and a lot of people realized that, dude, the stuff that I do can be done over the computer. The stuff that I do at work, I can do from home, right? And I think that's going to be one of the coolest transitions that's going to be happening over the next, 5-10 years, where all these companies are realizing that we don't really need these big office spaces. We can do what we need to do virtually. And that is why the direction of business is heading the VA route. It's heading from, instead of paying someone a $60,000, $70,000 salary, hiring virtual assistants to do the same job consistently is going to save the company a ton on the bottom line. So if you're still working and you're paycheck to paycheck, this is a great time to start leveraging and finding a new area so you can start heading in the right direction. Because look, technology is not going to stop. The future is not going to stop for us. Everything changes. And this is the direction that business is going to get done in the future. So grab onto it and let's go for a ride, right? So that is why this week, I'd asked you guys yesterday on the Sunday Morning Momentum, I'm like, what do we want to talk about for the next week? What do we want to talk about for the next, however long? And I was like, okay, do we talk about deal negotiations? Do we do deal structuring for the week? And then I said, maybe you guys want to do like a VA action plan. Because if you're trying to get your business started, or you're doing e-commerce, or you're doing real estate, or you're doing whatever your business might be, you're doing physical sales, you're in construction, or gosh, I don't know. There's a million different ways to make money today. But regardless of whatever business that you're in, what do you need help with, right? How do you find leverage in that business with someone helping you? Because trust me, if you're the one that's getting all these things done, you're the bottleneck for everything. Like, so many things are either going to go undone or not done well. Right? Because, you look at just a quick example of finding leverage. It's, even like home improvement. Like my wife, she's like, Matt, we need to do this in the house. We need to do that. We need to paint. We need to do this. Let's update the vanity. Let's do all these things. Like, sure, I could do these things, but should I do these things? Right? Is this the best use of my time? Right? And it's crazy. You just flip the way of thinking on these things, because traditionally it's like, yeah, I'm the man. I'm going to do these things. I'm going to do the vanity and cut the copper pipe and solder it. And I'm going to do this, and I'm going to put up this shiplap. I'm going to do all these things. That's all great, but I don't want to do that. Right? I could certainly do it. And hell, I've done a lot of things around the house watching YouTube videos, but it wasn't done well. Right? There's things that have been done here that, yes, I did them, but I had no clue how to do them. I watched some videos and yes, the thing's done, but I'm always like crossing my fingers. I think I did that right. Right? So in the same token, you shouldn't be doing everything in your business either. There's so many things in our business, and I think a lot of it has to do with us wanting to be the person for everybody. We can't be everything to everyone. We have to empower individuals to do more for our cause, so we can focus on what really matters and what moves the needle. Because if you're still working in it, I grew up with my family in restaurant business, and for so long, they worked in their business every single day. They never found leverage. They were the one doing the cooking. They were the one doing the waiting. They were the one at the cashier checking people out. Like they had people, but it was them doing every single thing. So they never could leave. Like, I don't know about you guys, but do you want to work on your business every single day? Like, work in it every single day? I think that's great for a while, because look, no one's going to care about it the way you do. But at the same time, that's just not a scalable model, right? You're going to work yourself to death and then not be able to do what you want to do. It's like, why did you get in business in the first place? Was it time freedom? Was it to have a bunch of money? What was that thing? And if you're still in the day-to-day grind and you haven't seen any benefits of like, man, I'm just so happy I work for myself, other than the fact that you're just not working for anyone else. Like, so what's the point, right? You're not really taking home any money and you're working yourself to death. It's like, what's the point? So virtual assistants is all about finding leverage. VAs, finding leverage in your business that you can start outsourcing tasks. You can start giving these things to people who are going to get it done every single day. I talked to you guys, I don't have the book in front of me, but it was the 1 Minute Manager Meets the Monkey. It's a great book. It was recommended to me by Cody, and I read this thing. I'm like, dude, there's so much stuff in here that I've been doing, even after I've had VAs in place. And I realized, still doing too much. I'm still trying to, I'm still trying to rescue everyone, like everyone within my team. Like, oh, I give them these tasks and like, here's what I want you to do. Here's what I want you to do. Everyone has their job, but guess who they come to with all their concerns? They come to me, right? And then when there's a concern, I'm always like, okay, well, I will look at it. Okay, let me check into that. Okay, whatever, because I wanted to be the man for everybody. And I quickly realized I can't be the man for everybody because I'm the bottleneck. I become like, all of a sudden, in the book, it talks about monkeys is the problem, right? So all of a sudden I have 40 monkeys on my back from taking over everyone else's issue and being the bottleneck of, hey, I'll look at it. Hey, I'll check that out. Hey, I'll look at this. Hey, I'll look at that. Rather than empowering my people to say, okay, well, what do you think is the solution? Okay, so what do you think is the thing? Like, I want you to go figure it out, without clearly saying like, yo, this is your job. It's not my job. I want you to figure it out. So getting that leverage and doing it the right way, learning from some of my mistakes and the stuff that we found a lot of success with over this last 1.5 to 2 years of just having an entire real estate business built around virtual assistants. That's what I want to share with you guys. And that's what we're going to talk about for the next 30 days. We're going to do a 30-day VA action plan. 30 days of do this, do that, do this, do that. Here's day 1, here's day 2, here's day 3. And every single morning on Morning Momentum, we're going to go over those things. Okay. So today is day 1. So if you guys are tuning in, or maybe you checking back in on this video, today is day 1. Where do you start with a virtual assistant? Where do you get going? What are the first things you need to do? So before, what I believe, this is what day 1 is. This is where I think is the most important place to start. It's not hiring someone right now. It's not right now going to get a VA, put them in some place and just hoping for the best, right? You get started today by understanding your budget. How much money do you have to spend? Because the reality is you can't find leverage in your business if your business isn't making any money. Okay. Or if you don't have any sort of cash reserves. That's the reality. If you don't have money to spend, you're going to have to be the person to go out and make that money, right? Making the money solves all the problems. Making the money is, if some people get caught on that rat race, that hamster wheel of making some money, spending it all. Now I'm going to go make some more. Spending it all. Now I'm going to go make some more. Spending it all. And that's why they never get out of their business. The goal is to have some cash so you can find leverage, so you're not on that hamster wheel, right? You have this thing running like clockwork, okay? Without you having to be up, down, up, down. I talk to business owners every single day that their business is literally like a roller coaster. Ooh, we made $100,000 on this one deal. Holy crap. And they spend it all and they don't get a deal for a month and a half. And now they're almost out of money again. And then they're hustling. They finally get a deal. They make 30 grand, spend it all, back up, back down, back up, back down. So how do you find that consistency in your business? And it comes from having a consistent model, a consistent standard operating procedure, and understanding what are the most important things to focus on. So does your business have money to spend right now? If you don't have the money to spend, you don't need a VA right now. What you need is more opportunities. What you need is more business. What you need to do is go put yourself out there to go talk to people. But if you do have money, this is the one thing that we talk about at VA Hub before we bring on any new client. is we want you to plan 3 months in advance, because any lead, anything that you get from cold calling, texting, RVM, mailers, whatever, you're typically looking at from the time you start the marketing campaign to the time you get money in your bank account is anywhere from 60 to 90 days. Okay. So when we plan out our expenses in our personal business, we model something that's called Profit First. It's a book by Michael Michalowicz. Awesome, awesome, awesome book. So Profit First, what does that mean? Okay. 45 to 50% of our business is set for operating expenses. So if we made $10,000 that month, 5,000 of it sits in for operating expenses. 15% goes to taxes, 10% to 15% goes to owner's compensation, and then a small amount goes to a profit account. So most of our money sits for operating expenses, but that's not 1 month of operating expenses. That's 60 to 90 days of operating expenses. So if you guys are wanting to hire one highly leveled, highly trained VA, you're looking at spending about $1,000 to $1,200 a month, depending on how many hours that they work, right? So you don't want to just have $1,200 set aside for 1 month. You want to have $1,200 set aside for multiple months. So for about 2 or 3. So you want to have at least $2,400 to $3,600 set aside just to pay that VA. That does not include your other costs. That does not include the cost for your tools that you need to have for your virtual assistant. That doesn't include the cost of, your data, right? We're looking at, for one virtual assistant, you're going to end up recycling anywhere from 4,000 to 5,000 records 3 to 4 times in a single month. Okay. So if you have that same 4,000 to 5,000 records, you're able to recycle it multiple times. You're probably going to need about 10,000 records, maybe 12,000, 10 to 12,000 records from the time you get started to the time you close a deal. So what does that cost? Okay. So I've already done the numbers. I've already done the breakdown. You're looking at, for tools, data, everything, overshooting it a little bit and being super conservative, expecting the worst. You're going to look at spending $2,500 a month for everything. Okay. $2,500 a month. So that times 2 to 3, you're going to want to have at least $5,000 to $7,500 set aside for your marketing. Okay. Before you get started. That's a lot of money, right? What happens, guys, the reason why I say this is someone may have $2,000. They may have $1,500, and they go all in and they spend all of that money, and they get a virtual assistant, and they're using the cheapest data. So you think that virtual assistant is going to be successful using the cheapest data that they're borrowing from someone else? No, it's just wasted money, right? They spend it all, and then they're wondering, well, why did this business not work? Oh, my VA sucks, or VAs don't work out. Like, this doesn't work. That's not the truth. The truth is you have to be real with yourself up front. Before you get started, do you have the money set aside to really put the best data and the best tools and the best virtual assistant? I'd much rather save the money to get to that, that $5,000 to $7,500 mark where I have it set aside. I'm safe. I'm spending $2,500 a month, but I know I have those other 3 things that are really good. So my chance of success is like, poof, super duper high in comparison to someone who's trying to cut corners, spend a little bit of money, spend $1,000, spend $500, and then just shoot themselves in the foot. The money's just wasted. Then they don't get a deal for 30 days. They save up again. They get a little bit more money, and they want to work with someone else, and they do all these crazy things, and they spend another $1,000. They don't get a deal. Talk to people like this all the time too, guys. I'm sure you have as well. Like a lot of folks, they try wholesaling. Oh yeah, I tried wholesaling, never got a deal. So because they're doing this kind of stuff, right? And they've spent a bunch of money, never gotten an opportunity. So I'd much rather, before you get started, your day 1 of your VA action plan, where are you at right now with the money you can put into your business? Do you have at least $5,000 set aside? That's going to afford you a VA, data, and tools, so you can start prospecting, because that is your first hire. Your first hire is someone who can help you prospect, someone who's going to bring in opportunities, not someone to work on your systems, not someone to work on, doing admin work. Now, if you already have a bunch of opportunities, you already have a bunch of leads, maybe, yes, that's when you need an admin or a systems person. But your first couple hires should be, these should be prospectors. These should be people that are going out and finding opportunities proactively with your marketing to bring them into your business. Okay. But that is on you. Do you have the money set aside for at least one virtual assistant with the best tools and the best data? That's where you start. And then, of course, you can go from there, you know. And then if you know, as you add in more VAs, you can just keep on adding up that cost. If you have one VA, that's what it looks like. 2 VAs, 3 VAs. Obviously, you guys can do the math. You have that money set aside. So our operating expenses, that 45 to 50%, I need to make sure that I have 2 or 3 months in that operating expenses account. So when we make 20 grand, $10,000 is in there. So that tells me right away how many VAs I can have. I could probably have 2 VAs with that, right? If my operating expenses is 20 grand, then I could probably have 4 VAs, right? And then we can scale from there. All right. So guys, that's where you get started. When you get going today, before you even hire a VA, where are you at with that? Where do you feel comfortable? How much money can you spend? You know, if you guys, obviously, if you have any questions on the profit first model, or because I get this question a lot, when is the right time to hire? The right time to hire is right now, if it makes sense for you, if those things are met, if you have the money set aside. Because I don't want you guys just hope in a prayer, you know, come to us and say, man, I want a VA. Like, look, I would love for you to hire a virtual assistant with our company, but I don't want you to do that if that isn't set up like that. Because what's going to happen is you hire a VA for 2 weeks, you hire a VA for 4 weeks, you run out of money, and the VA loses a job. Okay? Be prepared. Be ready when you hire that VA, because I know it works, and we're here to help you. We're here to support you. The CSMs get the best training. The VAs get the best training. We're constantly pouring into our team. We're constantly making sure that we're holding up our end of our agreement, that these people are skilled, they're trained, they're going to be the best they can for your business. But you got to be ready for that too. The tools and the data, that's stuff that we can't control, right? We can't control what data that you give your VA. We can't control what tools you want to put your VA on. All I can tell you is please use the best tools, right? We have recommendations for that stuff. Please use the best data. Obviously, we get our stuff from Batch Driven. Everything else we can handle for you as far as the training. But day one of your action plan is to write out where are you at right now. Pick up profit first, or you can just Google it. You can watch a quick YouTube video to see how the bank accounts are set up so you can figure out where you should be for your operating expenses. Okay. So guys, that is day one of your action plan. Day two, we'll check back in. I'll give you some more homework, give you some more things to work on. If you got some value in this video, please like it. Please share it with some family and friends. Obviously, I appreciate you guys coming in and hanging out. If you haven't already, head over to my YouTube channel. It's just Matthew Beard. You see the little cartoon guy in the corner. Hit subscribe. We go live every single morning, and these VA action items, these VA action plan will be on my YouTube channel every single morning. So again, thank you guys for coming and hanging out. Let's get to work. Happy Monday. Let's get to it. We'll talk to you later. Peace.